You guys ready to talk about earthing? Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Matt, or Dr. Matt Dorsey, if you're not in that whole brevity thing. I am the, as you probably know, Chief Scientific Officer and Formulator for Chalk, and we're doing another one of these fun Instagram lives. I've got these ridiculous glasses on because I'm staring into a screen. It's got artificial blue light, and hoping to minimize that. So I don't always use the glasses, but I do find they also have a relaxing effect. So if anybody messes with these glasses ever, I'd be curious to know if you guys also have found that they relax your nervous system. Yeah, today's been a bit of a stressful day for me, so I figured a little extra chill out with the color therapy would be nice. So I'd like to talk about earthing today. Wondering, you're very welcome, Hazy Monkey. Yeah. I'd like to know, do you guys do earthing? Do you do grounding? I'm curious. How many of you guys are into that? Do you go outside, step barefoot on the ground, make electrical contact with the earth? Is that part of your normal routine? I do it not often nearly as often as I should, but I do certainly do it, and it is a game changer. Yeah. So, do you guys know also that there is some scientific research on it? It's really interesting. So we're going to take a look at this blog here. Chalk.com/blog. This is one I wrote a while back called 5 Health Benefits of Earthing, right here. So yeah, would definitely recommend checking this out. I will link to it in a little bit after the video is finished. 5 Health Benefits of Earthing. So yeah, I mean, of course, we've been doing this for thousands of years, and I'm sure you guys know, only more recently, in the last several hundred years, did humans really disconnect electrically from the planet, right? So scientifically speaking, there is a negative charge to the Earth. There are free electrons that can flow into our body once we make electrical contact with the Earth. And of course, you can do that with any body part. You can also touch the Earth with your hand or whatever, as long as it's skin to Earth, this works basically, right? So, and we're just talking about really, really simple stuff here, really simple physics, just electron flow. Now, there's probably all sorts of other interesting, subtle energy stuff going on with this that might be even more outside the realm of what we can study scientifically. But the theory behind how earthing works and why it's beneficial to you, one of them anyway, is that it's actually a free radical scavenger, right? So free radicals, they're always looking for extra electrons, and they will steal them from your tissues and create tissue dysfunction, right? And so part of what we're doing is we're enabling the Earth to donate electrons to the free radicals in our bodies, right? And of course, a lot of the antioxidants in your body that would normally be doing that can be used for other purposes. So for example, glutathione. Anytime you put more antioxidants in the body, it's going to spare glutathione, and then you're going to be able to use more glutathione for other purposes other than as an antioxidant. You're going to be able to use it, for example, for your immune system to ensure healthy immune function, things like that. So yeah, so basically it's helping. Yeah, absolutely, grounding mats are great. Yeah. Now, are they as good as standing barefoot on the ground? Probably not, because there's probably some other stuff going on with that we can't quite measure. But some of the science I'm going to show you here in a second is based on using earthing mats, actually. Yeah, and you can find them online. Maybe in the future Chalk will sell some. That'd be really cool. But oops. Right now, you can just type in earthing mat. There's a bunch of different places you can go to find them, and you can sleep on them. Oh, yikes, that's not good. You can sleep on them, and just spilled my smoothie on the ground. Speaking of the ground. That's funny. Never done that in the middle of a live before. Pretty hilarious, right? Oh my gosh. All right. So, do we continue the live while I'm cleaning this off the floor? That's the question, right? So I guess I'll just keep talking as I'm cleaning the smoothie out of my carpet here. So funny, right? So earthing. Life is funny. You never really know what it's gonna throw you. Today's been a chaotic, stressful day. Probably a day when I should do a lot more earthing. And of course, right in the middle of my live, the one time I choose to drink a smoothie while I'm doing an Instagram live, smoothie with wild blueberries in it, which are very stainy, it ends up on the ground. So hopefully that's sufficient. Let's just pour a little bit more. Wild blueberry, mango, mushrooms, phosphatidylserine, ginkgo biloba, honey, and pistachio is what is in here, if you're curious. But yeah, so fortunately I still have some more smoothie, so I'm not out of smoothie. But yeah, because today was a bit of a chaotic, stressful day, I just thought, what should I talk about? Stress, you know, some ways of dealing with stress. You know, a lot of people do report that when they do more earthing, it has a centering effect. I know it for sure does for me, you know. Put some steak in there, somebody says. That's hilarious. Steak smoothie. Can't think of anything more delicious than that. But anyway, so yeah, there's a mushroom blend in there. Not chocks, but just a powdered one that I found. But anyway, so 5 health benefits of earthing. Here we go. All right. So number 1 is reduced pain and inflammation. Yeah, you can reduce pain and inflammation with earthing. And again, remember, if you want to check out this blog, you can go to chuck.com/blog, just type in earthing. So there was a study in 2004, pretty cool. They were actually using thermal imaging, or FLIR, F-L-I-R, forward-looking infrared. And what they did is you can actually image inflammation in someone's body using one of these infrared cameras. So before and after earthing, you can see major differences, right? So take a look. So top is going to be before earthing, bottom after earthing. So notice like all the red spots on the top. Those are all areas where there's increased inflammation. And then down here, you can see all those red spots went away. They became yellow. There's a lot more green and blue spots. So basically what we have is a reduction in inflammation shown by thermal imaging. Very cool. Yeah. Number 2, better sleep. This is a big one. You guys ever have sleep issues? I tend to have a very active nervous system. So I honestly go through periods where I'm kind of in and out, where, you know, I'll sleep great for a while, you know, and then all of a sudden just have this random bout of, you know, kind of pseudo insomnia for a few weeks. And so, yeah, earthing is documented to help with sleep. So if you guys are looking for sleep optimization, also right now it's summer. So from a Chinese medicine standpoint, you know, we're kind of at like almost peak yang right now, right? Peak yang would technically be the summer solstice. But yeah, so it's very hot in, well, depending on what part of the world you're in, but I'm in Austin, Texas, and it's hard to sleep right now. Heat tends to harass the nervous system. And also if you have a warm nature to you, if you have a warm-natured constitution, then you're going to be more sensitive to that heat. But yeah, better sleep right here. Number 2. So let's see, what do they say? So one of the ways that they said specifically it helps is that it actually helps to regulate stress hormones. It says measurable improvements in diurnal cortisol profiles were observed. Cortisol levels were reduced during nighttime sleep. Subjects' 24-hour circadian cortisol profiles showed a trend toward normalization. Subjectively reported symptoms, including sleep dysfunction, pain, and stress, were reduced or eliminated in nearly all subjects. So the subjects reported less sleep dysfunction, less pain, and less stress. And then also their stress hormones went down. Yeah. So very cool. So yeah, if you want to reduce stress and get better sleep, earthing can potentially be a huge benefit to you. Number 3, reduce stress and improved autonomic tone. So this goes along with number 2. Reduced stress and autonomic tone. What does autonomic tone mean? Do you guys know what the autonomic nervous system is? I mean, that's probably a term that's familiar to some of you guys, maybe most of y'all. Autonomic nervous system, that's your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous systems, right? And it's part of the peripheral nervous system, so not your central, not the brain, not the spinal cord, but all the other nerves in your body. And then you have 2 branches, right? Sympathetic, parasympathetic. One of them is the yang, one is the yin. Long story short, earthing can help to balance your nervous system. Put very simply, right? Your sympathetic nervous system is the one they call fight or flight. parasympathetic is the one they call rest and digest. They're very, very opposite, right? And you need both of them. But what happens is you want to be in the parasympathetic rest and digest when you're trying to sleep. You don't want to be in the sympathetic fight or flight, right? So, what happened here? They studied a bunch of different stuff in these folks. One of the things that they studied is also called heart rate variability. This is really cool. This is when they actually measure your heartbeats and the length between each heartbeat and its relationship mathematically and how predictable it is. There's certain things they can extrapolate from that. And long story short, if you're in a really chaotic emotional state, you'll have a certain kind of heart rate variability, right? Sometimes you'll have less changes, less variability between heartbeats. And then if you're in a more what they call coherent emotional state that's more relaxed and chill, then the machine will also be able to pick that up. Anyway, it's a bit of a convoluted explanation, but long story short, there are different techniques you can use to bring yourself into what they call heart coherence. And anyway, so that they're claiming is that also earthing helps to do that as well. All right, yeah. So decreased depression and anxiety is the next one. So I don't know if any of you guys are interested in that, but yeah, so earthing helps with depression and anxiety. The Deepak Chopra Center did a study actually in 2018. 16 people for 4 weeks. They gave them questionnaires, basically asking them how anxious they were, how much depression was a problem for them, right? And there was significantly better. The group that did the earthing were much, much better. And they also reported changes in neurotransmitters as well. Okay, now number 5, increased blood flow. Here's another really cool one. This is that same thermal imaging one that I showed you guys before, right? So notice the top and the bottom, yeah? So check this out, look. Earthing can substantially improve blood flow. You can actually see the areas where you can't even, this is thermal imaging on the hands where you can't even see them, and then all of a sudden the hands appear. This is someone who has really poor blood flow in their hands. So the thermal image can't even pick up the whole hand because this area is too cold, and then all of a sudden it appears properly. So earthing is regulating the blood flow. Now here's what's really cool. Did you guys know that human-made electromagnetic fields can actually disrupt your blood? EMFs can actually cause clumping of the blood. There's been some studies where they've done live blood cell analysis on people before and after being exposed to high amounts of electromagnetic radiation, right? And when you put a live blood cell under a microscope, or a sample of live blood into the right kind of microscope, you can actually see the blood cells moving. You know, you can actually see these little tiny blood cells moving around, right? So what EMFs cause is they cause clumping of the blood cells. The blood cells all of a sudden will clump together and they won't move through your veins and arteries as efficiently, right? So earthing helps to protect you against electromagnetic, or protect you from electromagnetic fields, right? And then so the downstream effect of that is going to be that those EMFs are no longer causing clumping of your blood, basically, right? So yeah, if you're worried about circulation, you want to make sure you have good circulation, then earthing, and also obviously reducing your exposure to EMFs, very, very important. Obviously, if you're earthing outside, you know, probably one of the best ways to do it, unless of course you're like right next to a 5G tower, you know, but yeah. So yeah, and there was a study specifically where they did show that earthing could reduce this clumping as well, just like with just getting away from EMFs. So EMFs make the blood cells clump more, earthing makes them clump less, and it certainly does seem like earthing does help to protect you from EMFs to some extent. Maybe not total protection, but some, yeah. And you know, like, I'm sure you guys probably do at least the basics, like, you know, like mindfully awoken saying, you know, turn your Wi-Fi and phone off at night. Obviously that's a big one. Airplane mode before bed. Yeah, 100%. I always go on airplane mode before bed. That's a really big one. And I've had people tell me like, oh, I can't do that. Like, you know, because what if somebody's gonna call me for an emergency or something? And I'm like, well, just know that we lived our lives until very, very recently, in the last decade or two, right? Not having that, and we were just fine, right? Not having the ability for people to access us 100% of the time, right? But yeah, if you, for some reason, if you have a family member who might have an emergency soon and you need to do that, then at the very least, just put your phone farther away from you. Put it across the room or something. So if it, so yeah, you'll hear it if it rings, but at the same time, at least it's not going to be right next to your head. Because as we've talked about lots of times before, your pineal gland is very, very sensitive to electromagnetic fields. They call it a magnetoreceptor. We've talked about this a few different times on here. And that is, of course, what manufactures your melatonin. And so pineal gland definitely is majorly affected by electromagnetic fields, like from your cell phone and your Wi-Fi router and all of that, Also, I don't know if you guys like shungite or not, but yeah, shungite pyramids. These are recommended by some. I don't have any scientific evidence that they do anything, to be frank, but they do feel great if you feel energy. Shungite is very grounding, and this is commonly used to help to compensate for some of the negative effects of EMFs. Of course, there's also orgonite. Orgonite's fantastic as well. If you guys are into any of that, I imagine probably a lot of you guys most likely are. But yeah, so, I've just been trying to highlight a lot of the blogs lately. Again, this blog is called 5 Benefits of Earthing. We have a lot of really cool content on shock.com. Yeah, if you just go to the main blog page, just so you guys know, yeah, main blog page, you can just go right here to the search function and you can type in whatever you want. And we have a fair number of blogs in there. So whatever it is that you're interested in knowing more about, you can check all that stuff out. Also, I am curious how many of y'all know about our YouTube channel. So just in case you don't, always trying to plug that. But yeah, Chalk Nation. So yeah, this is our YouTube channel right here. We just launched this about a month and a half ago. Really cool. Got a lot of good stuff on there. This is my favorite one right now. I've been plugging a lot. If you want to know everything there is to know about Shilajit, this is the one to watch. It's called Shilajit Science Deep Dives with Dr. Dorsey 2021. This video is it's probably the best thing we have on there right now. It's almost an hour long. It's me talking to Dr. Sani Raju, CEO of Natreon, and Dr. Anthony Thomas, who is the Director of Scientific Affairs at Natreon, and they're the company that produces the highly purified, standardized, lab-analyzed Shilajit that we use in our products. So that is super awesome. So just go to YouTube and type in Chalk, C-H-O-Q, and we'll pop right up. Name of the channel is Chalk Nation, though. Yeah. But yeah, so right here, Chalk Nation. Check that out, Chalk Nation. Yeah. But yeah, again, if you just go to YouTube and type in CHOQ, we will pop right up for sure. Also on the homepage, just so y'all know, so I'm always trying to let you guys know too, like we do have our newest featured videos on the homepage right here. And then of course, we have this thing called Ask Dr. Matt. If you want to ask me any question, you're very welcome, Hazy Monkey. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you. But yeah, if you guys want to ask me anything, obviously, you can ask questions on here in a second, and I'll do a little bit of Q&A. But if you ever want to ask me anything at all, anything, then I'm not always going to have an answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you, right? But ask me anything at all. You can just go to our YouTube channel, just go to any video you want, type in, "Hey, Dr. Matt," in the comments, and then I will personally answer your question. So I actually go through every so often and review the comments on all the different videos. YouTube gives me updates when we have new comments. And so, like, let's say you have a question about Chalk Shilajit, you have a question about 7 Wonders, you have a question about Action 2.0, or any herb or any nutrient, or even if you just want to ask me about other stuff, like, good techniques for stress relief, or ask me a question about earthing or anything like that. Oh, glad you like the new website, Morningstar. Very cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, if you guys want to ask me anything at all, basically just leave a comment on one of our YouTube videos. Preferably like and subscribe first, if you can, to our YouTube channel, because that helps us quite a bit. But yeah, definitely just know that. So any question you want to ask me, it's just a cool promotional thing we're doing. Obviously, YouTube really likes comments. they're all about community engagement. So the comments help our YouTube channel hugely, and we're really trying to build that up right now. So please feel free, go on there, go to YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then ask me any question you want in the comments section, and I will answer it in just a little while. Yeah. All right, cool. So somebody's asking about Apex Hazy Monkey. Yeah, for sure. So we've got it actually in the hopper right now, the new Apex. Just had to take NAC out because of the FDA, they're getting rid of it. So we put Capros in there instead, which is actually a really cool organic amla extract. And amla does help, amla berry helps to boost glutathione as well, but it also helps with nitric oxide production. It's a really awesome antioxidant, just an amazing Ayurvedic superfood / herb. So yeah, we're gonna have that coming in just a little bit. Yeah. Why have you hung your wife's best rug up behind you? That's hilarious. This is actually a vinyl backdrop for YouTube type videos, so definitely not a rug. That's hilarious though. What is NAC good for? NAC is a direct precursor to glutathione. So your body uses it to manufacture glutathione, basically. It is an amino acid. Glutathione is made of 3 different amino acids, and out of the 3 that it's made of, cysteine, which is what NAC is, a form of cysteine, is the most important, what's called the rate-limiting amino acid precursor. So long story short, people take NAC to produce more glutathione, and glutathione is absolutely essential for immune function and detoxification, as well as a whole host of other things. Yeah. Do you recommend taking all the chalk supplements in the morning all at once? That's really up to you if you want to. I would say, if you're gonna do that, you might wanna have some food in your stomach. It's probably a good idea. Doing the whole line without food could be a bit rough. So yeah, I would probably have some in there. But if you're sensitive, you might wanna consider spacing it out. It really just depends on the individual. Some people are a lot more sensitive to supplements than others, So yeah. All right. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, looks like you guys are liking the new website. That's cool. Gives me unreal energy. Very cool. Awesome. Eucalyptus, yeah, great for opening the sinus passage up. Eucalyptus. Let's see here. What else we got? I sleep with a brick of shungite by my bed. Very cool. Nice. Yeah. I've got a decent amount of orgonite and also a lot of shungite in my apartment. Let's see what else here. Shungite, my favorite. Okay, so you guys like the shungite. Very cool. Yeah. Does copper reduce 5G exposure? I have no idea. I really could not say. Yeah. We're talking about airplane mode. Yeah, guys, airplane mode is super important before bed. Very, very important for your phone there. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Cats are awesome to live with. Definitely cats are great stress reducers. Animals in general, great for reducing stress, absolutely. Grounding is being with no shoes in nature. Okay, yeah, and just to redefine grounding, or also known as earthing for you guys, I mean, sure, 90% of you guys probably don't know, but for those who don't know, grounding, or also called earthing, is really just anytime you're making electrical contact with the earth. And that can be done indirectly by using like an actual grounding sheet or something like that, as long as that sheet is plugged into something that's going into the earth. Or, of course, classically speaking, it's just basically walking barefoot on the ground. Even actually touching a plant grounds you. I've actually done this as an experiment using a voltmeter. You can actually see with the voltmeter, as soon as you touch a plant that's in the ground, you become grounded as well. The more surface area, however, the better you'll do. So like just touching one finger to the ground is not going to provide the same amount of grounding as, say, both hands and both feet. That's going to be a lot better. Yeah. All right, let's see here. What else we got? Just came back from a forest bath. Very cool. I actually talk about forest bathing. I've got another article talking about natural ways to boost your immune system. And forest bathing actually has some cool scientific research on it showing that it actually it does boost the immune system. And of course, as you guys know, stress significantly impacts your immune system. So the more stressed out you are, the worse your body is at fighting off pathogens. The more your inflammation can go up as well. Stress can cause inflammation. And there's actually, there's research out there showing that when people do things like breathing techniques, meditation, things like that, that it can significantly impact your stress hormones and also your immune function, your blood pressure, all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, adaptogens, right? One of the reasons that chalk sells so many adaptogens is because it's the quickest way to get somebody's body back into balance, right? So whether it's like our Shilajit or the Chocolate Daily for men, or Action 2.0, or some of the adaptogens, even it's an Apex Glutathione or Chalk Armor or 7 Wonders, the general idea is these are nutrients that get your body back into rhythm, into balance, and help to provide balance throughout all your systems. Support healthy energy levels, support healthy stress hormone levels, right? So stress is not out of control, and regulate the relationship between the brain and the adrenals and the different glands in the body. So yeah, so adaptogens, when you combine your adaptogens with your healthy diet, with your forest bathing and your earthing and all this stuff here, that's really the ticket, you know. And you know, I was going to tell you guys too, if you guys haven't seen this one, so I did another Instagram live called Don't Be a Biohacker Because You're Not a Machine, and I did that one pretty recently. I did this other cool Chalk article that I read from and talked about. This is a really fun one too. Yeah. So I don't know how much you guys are into transhumanism, you know, and you know, I mean, well, obviously not into it, but know about it, right? And why it's so uncool, for lack of a better term. So, you know, one of the reasons that we talk about all this stuff about reconnecting to the earth and how important that is because, you know, there's sort of a weird movement where people are wanting to merge with machines, right? We're treating ourselves like machines, right? We use terms like biohacking. Biohacking's cool and all, but it's also kind of not cool. In a sense, it suggests that you're a machine, and that just divorces us more and more from nature, you know? And so, yeah, all these little tools and things are fun and they're great, but, you know, we need to reconnect with nature if we want to be fully human. And yeah, so on that note, I will end. And thanks a lot, guys. See you guys soon. And as always, stay human.